Now, he's the nasty judge on Strictly, the pantomime villain, but none of us are fooled by that. We all know he's lovely, really, don't we? Craig Revel Horwood, he's a top man, and I've been speaking to him about his first novel, which he actually wrote in lockdown. It's called Dances and Dreams on Diamond Street, and the reviews are looking good, and it follows a group of people living in a house share in the 90s, and Tom, it's semi-autobiographical. So when I spoke to Craig, I thought I'd better just see how much of the book is actually based on him and his life.
I wrote it because when I lived in Camden Town, we had some extraordinary times in a house share. And I was living there for 5 years and made some really spectacular friends. And of course, the trials and tribulations of living in a house share with literally one kitchen and there's six of you sharing it. At a point where you're at crossroads in your life, particularly for myself, like the character Danny Hall, um, having to go through dance all your life and then suddenly get to the point or the stage where you have to hang your dance shoes up was alarming. And it's like changing massively your job, and what you stand for in life. So it was the trials and tribulations of that. And also I've made it there's a little bit of romance in there. There's a lot of partying, as you can imagine, and set in 1994 in Camden Town, when it was quite bohemian. I was living, with lots of arty-farty people, poets, the likes, people, journalists, all sorts of people, from different walks of life, but in the artistic world. And it was absolutely brilliant. So I thought, this is too funny and too much fun to be had, in a book. So all the things I couldn't fit into my autobiography, I changed all the names and put them in.
Was it something you'd been planning on doing a while, this novel?
Well, Well, we talked about it ages ago, saying how much of a good book it would make, and the amount of stories we had that we could tell, from that period in our lives was just brilliant. And I thought, well, during lockdown, I may as well do something. So got on with it, really. The seeds were sort of planted a year ago, but then, of course, lockdown happened, and that gave me the opportunity, of course, to finish it all up and get it out there. So it's been a pleasure compared to doing autobiographies that are really quite emotional in that way, because you're talking about your real life, real people, real situations, real stories. I wanted to do something where I could have a little bit of fun, with the characters. And fiction was sort of the place for me to go. And I absolutely loved it and want to do more of it.
Being as Danny's based on you, when you wrote it and read it back, did you like Danny?
I made him a lot more gorgeous than me. I made him probably, a bit beefier, like muscle bound. Well, you can just have fun with it. I mean, I went through a lot of, I used everything that I'd experienced, obviously, in life to write it. So it was good to look back on that time and then treat the characters, as though I was directing them in a play. And that's what I loved about it the most.
Artistic license. Well, I mentioned the reviews. It's been a
Yeah.
huge thumbs up. And I was reading Waterstone's was a great review. Amazon described you as a dancer, a director, a choreographer, an artist. They forgot actor because I saw you as Miss Hannigan in Annie in Birmingham and you smashed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And I have to say, Craig, that you look rather good in a pair of wrinkled stockings. It's been like Nora Batty chic, I call it.
Yeah, there is that, I suppose. I've in Panto, I generally play like the Wicked Queen from Snow White, who, an older woman who's trying to look young and beautiful. But in as Miss Hannigan in Annie, I didn't have to do that at all. In fact, she's either drunk or hungover in every scene, so it was just fantastic to play. But I love acting. I do love it. I'd love to do some more roles like that. She's just so brilliantly written. And I had such a great time doing it. I remember when they asked me, I thought, this can't be right. I thought when they were asking me to do Annie, I thought they meant for me to direct and choreograph. And I said, oh, no, darling, I can't work with children or animals. And then, of course, they said, no, we don't want you to direct it. We want you to actually star in it as Miss Hannigan. I went, oh, no, now you're talking.
Well, you had a standing ovation when I saw it as well. Now, I've got to
It was
finally
great.
ask you about Strictly. Strictly's coming back. How are you feeling about it, Craig?
I can't wait. I'm super excited, and I'll tell you why. Because there's great people in it, number one, but BBC, I think, have done a really fantastic job pulling together, through the COVID crisis, a way that we can actually do it. I think people in the UK are really looking forward to seeing the show again because number one, it gives them hope. Number two, it provides amazing entertainment for the whole family, something of which we've been starved of. I mean, there's been so many reruns on and all of that sort of stuff, and Netflix can only go so far to entertain people, and it gives you a wonderful lead up to Christmas and the feeling and sense, that you sort of belong and that things are a little bit normal. I think that's what people will be looking for. So I think it's going to be a great delight for everybody. And I'm just really waving the BBC flag here because they have gone to great lengths, to protect people within the industry and get the show on as well at the same time. Logistically, it's a nightmare, obviously, because of government guidelines changing week by week. But they have great plans in place, and I can't wait for people to see it. When you're pushed into creative corners, um, you develop amazing work. The stuff that you'd never thought of. So it's going to be spectacular. I cannot wait.
Oh, Craig Revel Horwood there, and the launch of Strictly is next Saturday night, which is the 17th on BBC One, and his debut romantic novel, which is called Dances and Dreams on Diamond Street, is out now.